Have you ever poured your entire soul into someone, given them your best years, your patience, and your loyalty, only to be treated like an option? It's a specific kind of pain, isn't it? But what if I told you that the moment you stop trying to prove your worth is the exact moment they realize they lost it? Welcome back to INVICTUS X. Today, we aren't talking about revenge. We are talking about the only thing that actually works: radical sovereignty. There is a brutal truth about human nature. We often devalue what is readily available. If you are always there, always explaining, always fixing, you become part of the furniture of someone's life, useful but invisible. They get comfortable with your kindness. They assume your presence is a guaranteed commodity. The ancient Stoics understood this dynamic thousands of years ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The worth of a person is measured by what they choose to control." Read that again. It doesn't say your worth is measured by how much you are loved or how hard you fight for attention. It is measured by what you control. When you hand the remote control of your emotions to someone who doesn't value you, you are essentially telling them, "You are the master of my reality." Today, we are going to take that remote back. We are going to explore 10 Stoic attitudes that do not just get back at people, they completely rewrite the script. These attitudes will make anyone who took you for granted deeply regret the day they decided you weren't enough. Not because you are trying to hurt them, but because you are finally busy healing yourself. Let's descend into the fortress of the mind. Number 1. Practice strategic silence. The mirror effect. Most people are terrified of silence. When we feel ignored or undervalued, our instinct is to make noise. We send the long text message. We ask, "What's wrong?" We demand closure. We think that if we just speak loud enough, they will finally hear us. But Stoicism teaches us the opposite. As highlighted in insights from Glasp regarding wisdom and silence, the closer you are to the truth, the more silent you become inside. Wisdom begets silence. When you apply strategic silence, you stop feeding the dynamic. Imagine a tennis match. They serve a ball of neglect or disrespect, expecting you to hit it back with a complaint. When you don't hit it back, the game stops. They are left holding the racket, looking foolish. Your silence becomes a mirror. Without your noise to distract them, they are forced to look at their own behavior. They begin to wonder, "Why isn't he chasing me? Why isn't she upset?" That confusion is the seed of regret. Number 2. The no jade rule. Stop explaining. There's a psychological concept often used in recovery circles called JADE. Justify, argue, defend, explain. When you are with someone who doesn't value you, you likely spend 90% of your energy doing these 4 things. You try to explain your feelings, you justify why you were hurt, you defend your character. Stop it. Explanations are for people who are looking for the truth. People who undervalue you are not looking for the truth. They are committed to misunderstanding you because it serves their narrative. Epictetus said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." If they think you are too sensitive or demanding, no amount of explaining will change that. When you stop explaining, you send the most powerful message of all. I no longer require your understanding to be valid. This withdrawal of energy creates a vacuum that they will feel immediately. 3. The story of the architect. Live with purpose. Let me tell you a story to illustrate this third attitude. There was once a young architect named Julian. He was in a partnership, both business and personal, where he was constantly belittled. His ideas were dismissed, his presence ignored. He spent months trying to prove his talent to his partner, bringing blueprints to the table only to be laughed at. One day, Julian stopped bringing the blueprints. He stopped asking for feedback. Instead, he woke up at 4 a.m. every day and worked on a solo project. He went to the gym. He read philosophy. He started building his own firm in silence. 6 months later, he launched his project to massive acclaim. His partner was shocked. "Why didn't you tell me you were doing this?" Julian simply smiled and said, "I was too busy building it." That is the power of focusing on yourself. Regret does not come when you cry. Regret comes when they see you flying. When they look over and see you physically fitter, mentally sharper, and financially more successful without them, it destroys the narrative that you needed them. As James Clear notes, the key to building lasting habits is focusing on creating a new identity first. You are building the identity of someone who does not need permission to be great. 4. Set boundaries without the guilt tax. Manipulative people rely on one thing: your guilt. They know that if they push you, you will feel bad for saying no. They rely on your good person syndrome. Stoicism teaches us that we must be like a rock in the ocean. The waves crash against it, but the rock does not apologize for being hard. It just is. Setting a boundary is not an act of aggression. It is an act of definition. It defines where you end and they begin. Old you: "I'm so sorry, I can't come over tonight. I have to work, please don't be mad." Stoic you: "I am not available tonight." Notice the difference? No apology, no excuse, no guilt. When you remove the guilt, you remove their lever of control. They will hate it at first, they will call you cold, but eventually they will respect you, or they will leave. Either way, you win. 5. The VIP rope method. Distant kindness. There is a misconception that Stoicism means being cold or mean. That is false. Stoicism is about virtue. Being mean shows that you are still hurt. Being angry shows they still matter. The ultimate power move is distant kindness. Treat them like a customer at a shop you don't own. You are polite, you say hello, you say have a nice day, but you do not let them behind the counter. You do not let them into the VIP section of your heart. This confuses them deeply. They expect you to be bitter, which validates their ego, or desperate, which feeds their ego. When you are simply pleasant but unreachable, it drives them insane. They realize they have lost access to your intimacy. They are now just a stranger in the crowd, and that demotion hurts more than any argument ever could. 6. Be unshaken by criticism. The gray rock. Epictetus taught us, if anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said about you, but answer, he was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone. This is the ultimate mic drop. When someone who doesn't value you criticizes you, they are trying to get a rise out of you. They want to see you crumble. Become a gray rock, boring, unshakable, uninteresting. You're selfish. Response: that's an interesting perspective. You're going to fail. Response: we'll see. When your emotional reaction hits zero, their weapon turns into a toy. They realize they are shooting arrows at a ghost. You cannot hit what isn't there. 7. Dignity in the dark. Solitude. Who are you when you are alone? Many people who are undervalued fall into a pit of self-pity when they are alone. They check their phone 50 times an hour. They stalk social media. The Stoic attitude here is to maintain your dignity even when there are no witnesses. Seneca said, "The wise are sufficient to themselves." Build a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good on the outside. When you truly enjoy your own company, reading, training, learning, meditating, you stop emitting the smell of desperation.
People can smell desperation from a mile away, but they can also smell self-sufficiency, and it is incredibly magnetic. 8. The sovereign exit. Move on without warning. We are conditioned to think that endings need to be dramatic. We think we need a final talk to get closure. Here is a harsh truth. Closure is a scam. You don't need closure from the person who broke you. You need closure from the version of yourself that let them break you. The most haunting thing you can do to someone who mistreated you is to simply vanish. No long letter, no shouting match, just an empty space where you used to be. They will wait for the explosion. When it doesn't come, they will be left with a permanent question mark. What happened? When did they leave? The silence of your absence will scream louder than your presence ever did.
9. Celebrate achievements in silence. In the age of social media, we think something didn't happen unless we posted it. But if you were posting your gym selfies or your job promotion specifically so that person will see it, you are still their slave. You are still dancing for their applause. Try this. Achieve something massive and tell no one, or only tell your true circle. Let the person who undervalued you find out 6 months later through a rumor. Did you hear? Mike started a company. Did you hear? Sarah moved to Paris. The shock of them realizing they know nothing about your life anymore is the ultimate realization of loss. It cements the fact that they are an outsider. 10. Emotional autarky, self-sufficiency. Autarky means absolute sovereignty. Attitude number 10 is the destination. It is the realization that happiness is an inside job. As long as you believe that your value is a stock price that goes up when they text you and down when they ignore you, you will be miserable. You must delist your stock from their exchange. When you wake up and realize, I am okay whether they are here or not, the chains break. And the funny thing about the universe, it is usually at this exact moment when you truly, deeply do not care anymore that they come back. They sense the shift. They sense they can no longer manipulate you. But by then, it won't matter, because you aren't doing this to get them back. You are doing this to get yourself back. These 10 attitudes are not tricks. They are a lifestyle. They are the armor of the INVICTUS X mindset. When you stop explaining, stop reacting, and start living, you flip the script. You move from being a character in their movie to being the director of your own. Regret is a heavy burden, but it is not yours to carry. Leave that to the people who couldn't see your worth when it was standing right in front of them. I want to know which of these attitudes you need to work on the most. Is it the silence, the boundaries, or the sovereign exit? Leave a comment below. Let's build a community of high-value individuals who refuse to settle for crumbs. If this video sparked a fire in you, like it and share it with a brother or sister who needs to hear this. This is INVICTUS X. Remain invincible.